Welcome to Speak Fluent English Lab, where learning to speak fluent English feels simple and fun. I'm David.
Hi everyone, I'm Lena. Have you ever walked into a room, introduced yourself, and then silence? Just awkward stares? Yeah, the person doesn't remember a single thing about you afterward.
It's actually super common. Most people bomb their introductions because they stick to the same tired formula everyone uses. Hi, I'm David. I'm from the UK. I work in marketing.
Yawn, right? But here's the magic. What if I told you that just 5 phrases, 5 carefully chosen words can make people actually remember you, not just hear you, actually remember you?
That's exactly what we are cracking open today. We've collected the secret phrases that native speakers naturally weave into their introductions. And honestly, they're game-changing.
Before we dive into this golden stuff, a huge thank you to everyone watching and supporting Speak Fluent English Lab right now. You guys make this possible.
Your support means everything to us. Please take just 1 second, seriously, 1 second, and hit that like button. It shows you're determined to take your English to the next level.
And hit subscribe. Subscribe right now motivates us, bringing you more of these incredible English breakthroughs. New content, same energy, same fun.
Oh, and stick around until the end, because we've got a bonus takeaway. That's basically like finding money in your jacket pocket. You won't want to miss it.
Right. So picture this. You're at a networking event, or maybe you're starting a new job, or you've just walked into your first class at university. Everyone's standing around.
And someone asks the classic question, "So, tell me about yourself." And you've got maybe 30 seconds to make an impression.
Most people panic. They either ramble or they become this robotic version of themselves. Neither works. But native speakers, they've got a system, and it's subtle.
The thing is, these phrases aren't fancy or difficult. They're actually super simple, but they work because they do something psychologically. They make people feel like they're learning something interesting about you, not just hearing facts.
So let's crack into these 5 gems, yeah? We're going to show you the phrases, we'll explain when to use them, and we'll show you how to layer them together so your introduction feels natural, not scripted.
Okay, first one, this is gold. I'm that person who. It's a micro storyteller. Instead of saying, "I like photography," you say,
I'm that person who gets way too excited about finding the perfect light for a photo. My friends literally roll their eyes when I stop mid-conversation because the sunset's hitting different.
See what happened there? You went from a fact to a story, and now I actually remember you. I don't just remember that you do photography, I remember that you're slightly obsessed and your friends think you're hilarious about it.
This phrase works because it gives people a character snapshot. It's personal, it's memorable, and bonus, it opens a conversation naturally because people want to follow up.
Well, the second one is basically like whispering a secret, even though you're saying it in front of everyone. What most people don't know about me is, and then, bam, you hit 'em with something unexpected.
For example, what most people don't know about me is that I'm actually absolutely terrified of public speaking. So every time I do it, there's this moment backstage where I'm like, should I actually do this?
This phrase is genius because it's vulnerable but not weak. You're showing confidence by admitting a challenge. People connect with that. Plus, they'll remember you as the person who actually has depth.
And it definitely beats saying I'm a hard worker or something super generic that literally nobody remembers 5 minutes later.
Right! The third one is short, snappy, and it radiates energy. When you say, "I'm obsessed with," people instantly think you're interesting because you clearly care about something.
I'm obsessed with finding new coffee shops in cities I visit. I've got this whole map on my phone and everything. That's so much more memorable than, I like coffee.
The magic word here is obsessed. It's got personality built in. When you use it, you're telling people you're not just casually interested, you're genuinely passionate about something. And passion is magnetic.
Plus, this phrase naturally invites follow-up questions like, oh, which cities? Or have you found a favorite? Boom, conversations flowing.
We come to the fourth phrase. This is brilliant because it shows growth and intentionality. It tells a micro journey. People love knowing that someone's actively evolving. The phrase is, I spent the last few years doing something, but recently I've switched to something else.
For example, I spent the last few years working in corporate finance, but recently I've switched to freelancing so I could have more control over my projects. Turns out I'm actually terrible at sitting in an office all day.
What you've just done is shown progression. You weren't stuck. You made a deliberate choice. And you added humor. Now people think you're self-aware and intentional about your life.
This phrase especially works at networking events or new jobs because it shows you're not static. You're someone who adapts and makes decisions.
The next one sounds simple, but it's actually loaded with relatability. When you start with, honestly, the best part about what I do is, you're giving permission for other people to be honest too.
Honestly, the best part about teaching is when a student has that moment where everything just clicks and they get it, like their face changes. That's addictive.
See, everyone can relate to that feeling, that moment of breakthrough or joy in what you do. You're not bragging, you're sharing something human and real.
And when you use honestly, people drop their guard too. The energy shifts from small talk to actual connection.
All right, we've given you 5 solid phrases, and your brain's probably already thinking, okay, I can use these. But here's where it gets clever.
The real secret isn't just using one phrase, it's layering them together so it sounds natural and conversational, not like you're checking off a script.
So, imagine someone asks you at a party, hey, what do you do? Watch this.
You could say, I'm that person who gets obsessed with solving problems, which is why I ended up in UX design. Honestly, the best part about it is when users test my designs and suddenly something that seemed complicated becomes really intuitive. What most people don't know about me is I actually trained as a sculptor, so there's this weird blend of art and tech in everything I do.
Do you see what happened there? You just wove together 4 of the phrases we taught you, and it sounded completely natural and conversational. It didn't feel scripted at all.
That's the magic trick, yeah? You're not memorizing lines. You're internalizing a style of speaking about yourself that feels genuine, but lands harder than the standard intro.
People will literally walk away thinking, wow, I actually know that person now. And they'll probably remember you 3 weeks from now because you gave them something real to latch onto.
So here's your mission. Well, actually, your fun challenge this week. Take one of these phrases and use it in a real conversation. Just one.
See how people respond. Notice how the energy of the conversation changes when you're more specific and more authentic in how you talk about yourself.
And please come back to our channel. Now hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
Plus, drop a comment down below and tell us which phrase you're going to try first. It's a real affirmation that you're determined to speak English well.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us here at Speak Fluent English Lab. You crushed this lesson today, and honestly, we can't wait to see you nail your next introduction.
Keep practicing, have fun with it, and remember, you don't need a perfect introduction. You need an honest one. See you next time.
Bye, everyone. Go introduce yourselves.